Okay.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for those online. My name is Mary Gilbert. I'll be your host today as we navigate through this presentation. I'm going to move to the other side of the slide. So today we are understanding food lingos, GMO, non-GMO, organic, gluten-free, antioxidant, probiotic, all the things that fall within that. And today we have Kris of the McKenzie Health System, our registered dietitian, diabetes quality coordinator. For those online, you will automatically be muted. The Q&A function is located at the bottom of your screen. And if you have questions, you can type those in and we'll be glad to assist with those questions. And if everybody could just take a moment online and write in the Q&A chat if you can hear me, I would love to know, to make sure that's working, please. Okay. Yep. So if there are any other questions today, I'm going to go ahead and sit at the back and hand it over to Kris. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
I want to welcome everybody for coming out on this beautiful cool day. It's a little warmer than it's going to be next week, so hopefully everybody's staying warm. As you can see, we do have a lot of stuff on the schedule for this year. So if everybody can, you know, if you got some of the topics that you're looking at for the schedule, and you can join us, we would love to have you. You can say there's quite a bit going on this year, so I think hopefully there's something there that that you'll be interested in. So we look forward to having you again. So we'll get started here on the. Yep, that's okay. No problem. Technology has its own mind sometimes. So for everybody that's here with us, you were able to get the copy of my slides. If anybody online would like a copy, we can certainly get them to you if you've got an email. No problem there. So the agenda, of course, is the GMO, non-GMO, organic, gluten-free, antioxidants, probiotics, prebiotics, and cage-free. So those are the topics that we're going to cover today. We're going to spend a little bit of time. You know, we'll definitely do some Q&A at the end. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll start first of all with the there's a lot on this one. So we're going to start on the left-hand side, the GMO, the genetically modified organisms. We're going to kind of get into a little bit of chemistry, so to speak, on this one. So this is a gene that gives an organism such as a plant, an animal, or a microorganism a desired trait. It's copied, so that information from that organism that has that trait is inserted. Inserts that information into the DNA of another organism. Then it grows this new organism. A lot of technology, a lot of crazy stuff going on. So what happens when they do GMO? They use it for a variety of purposes, such as making human insulin. So anybody that has diabetes might be on insulin. They use it to ferment beverages. Anybody know what the fermented beverages might be? Developing pesticide resistance in crop plants. So we've probably, a lot of people have heard about GMO, different types of food products. And then we go to the non-GMO or non-genetically modified organisms. So this is basically verifies that this product has not had any of this stuff going on, that it is just natural, that there's nothing that they've done to it that has modified it. So they're not trying to change any of its genetic makeup. They're not trying to make it better for anything, that it's just natural. Anybody have any questions on the GMO versus the non-GMO? Does anybody look for that stuff on labels when they're purchasing it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What year did this GMO actually get going?
That, I don't have that answer to that one, but I can certainly get that one. Yeah, so, yeah, I think it's been probably a while since it's been on there. Probably, yeah, I would say probably, yeah. You know, where it's starting to really start coming out. So, yeah, I don't have an exact answer on when it started. I do have at the very bottom, if you are computer savvy and like to get on there and do a little research, I do have the resources at the bottom on here, so you can certainly go on there and click onto those. But yeah, the GMO I think's been going on for some time. So it does have some advantages, of course, but I'll be honest with you, this isn't something that I look for when I'm doing my shopping, but you know, some people do, and that's fine, there's nothing the matter with it. But definitely it is a different way of producing a food.
Is the bioengineered, is that this too, or?
I'm sure probably plays a factor into it. Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, when you think about, you know, when we're talking about, and I have nothing against our farmers. We have a farmer that farms our property. You know, we stop and we think about the food. What's it doing to us? You know, a lot of us are having health issues. Is it the food we're eating? Is it the medication we're taking? Why is all of a sudden I was healthy here and now I'm not? And you stop and think, well, we're putting stuff into our bodies every day, whether we're putting food into our bodies, whether we're putting medications into our bodies, we're doing something every day to our bodies. So,
Do you have any information on the withdrawal times that go through for, let's say, pesticide application before they go into a store?
I don't, but we can certainly look into that, yeah.
Before they go into what?
Before they transport it to a store, so like before harvest, there's usually a time where they can spray or maybe
Right,
not spray,
yeah.
so there's that withdrawal time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Before they
Yeah, that I do not have, but that is an interesting question and, you know, a concept to say like, okay, if sprayed pesticides on something, how long is it from that you can eat it, that it's safe for you to eat? You know, so that kind of goes into the organic piece of it. You know, I mean, if you have a piece of property that has sprayed chemicals on it for how many years, and then all of a sudden they go organic, is it truly organic? And how long does it take for it to go from?
3 years, they gotta be. before-
Okay, so we have an answer, 3 years for a property to go from non-organic to organic. So,
At least it used to be,
okay,
you know, a few years ago, I mean, it's longer now.
I
It
will-
was 3 years.
I will look at certifications, that way helps, don't you? Keep those records. I'm sorry, I don't know. how to-
no, you are fine, no, you are fine, I love the interaction, that's awesome. And the farmers that we have, I know that they have, really worked very hard on the property that we lease to them to switch things over as organic as they possibly can. One year they sprayed, oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna, it was horrible. And it's not a bad thing to put on the soil, molasses, but it smelled horrible. I don't know why, but it smelled horrible. Anyways, and I don't know the reason they put molasses on it, but they did. So we'll kind of go a little bit to the organic now. So anybody buy organic? Okay, is anybody happy with the prices that they're paying for organic? No. I didn't think so. I didn't think anybody would be. So yes, unfortunately, we are paying more for organic. I unfortunately don't have an answer why. But it is overseen by the USDA, which is a national organic program. They do have to follow certain regulations, and
It's harder to market it, wouldn't it? Because you go to the elevator, I mean, where do you take organic? You have to take it someplace different.
yeah, and I don't have an answer for that one, but yes, you're right. I mean, you would have to.
That would be similar cost. Yeah.
Yeah. And as we learned, taking your land from non-organic to organic is potentially 3 years. produced without genetic engineering, ionizing, radiation, or sewage sludge, which is not very nice to talk about while you're eating. I'm sorry. And then, you know, basically you're producing it using natural products. So as I talked about the molasses, you know, that's a natural product. Didn't smell very good, but it was a natural product that they put on, and I can't remember what they put it on for. You have to be very specific on their labeling as well. So, you know, things have to be labeled accordingly for the organic. So paying the extra price, I have nothing against it. I think it's great. I just wish we didn't have to pay the extra for it.
I kind of look at it like my body's worth it,
Absolutely. I agree with you.
you know? I probably spent money in worse places, you know?
I would rather see you spend it that way than go to the casino and blow it all out, you know, that's, you know, there are worse places for you to spend your money, absolutely. And if you're spending that extra money to stay healthy.
And at least I have a choice of whether I want to or not.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I can imagine the labor that it takes to grow and produce organic products is gonna be a little more heavy on the pocketbook for the farmers, so that may, you know, affect the price too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And the yield's not there.
No, no,
The yield's not there because they can't use the same fertilizers and the same sprays. And so then they have to cultivate the field because they can't spray the weeds.
right,
And that costs more money for the farmer also.
yes. Yes, that's something I,
So the yields aren't there.
yes, correct, yes, I
So
noticed
it
that.
takes a lot more.
Yeah, a lot more, probably more labor versus, you know, like you said, if they could spray a chemical on it, that's gonna kill the weeds versus weeding it.
Versus the grandkid going out there. and pulling it.
Man, could we get some of these young kids working, couldn't we? Oh, what is that? And yes, and I have noticed in our fields too, that we probably have more weeds in ours because of the lack of spraying. Because of not having the harsh chemicals like, you know, like they used to. So, pros and cons on everything. You know, do we want those chemicals in our body? Like we said, we have that time frame from spraying to consuming, and what is that?
I always wonder if you've got a field next, like one organic field and then the non-organic drift
Right.
and whatnot.
You're always gonna have that runoff, absolutely.
Well, the wind too.
Oh, absolutely,
The
Animals eat
eat
non-organic and then
absolutely,
transfer into organic.
yeah. You're always gonna have that as that risk, no matter what you do, you know, they're eating what's in the ground, and we're eating them, so, you know, we're picking it up no matter how we do it.
Yeah, there's really no way to get total organic.
I don't think there is, I honestly, truly, I agree with you, I totally don't think that there is, I mean, I don't know how we could, you know, make that 100%. So here's are some of the labels, I was able to find this, I thought this is kind of neat. The website is on the bottom if anybody wanted to do a little bit more research on it. But you'll see, okay, so we said 100% organic, so we'll see, you know, this is what the recommendations are or the standards. In order for it to be 100% organic, it says 100% certified organic ingredients and processing aids, okay? What does that mean? Okay, well, we're not out there processing it, so they have certain standards, certain processes that they have to do with that food for it to meet that criteria. No GMOs, okay? So we don't want any of that genetically altered stuff going on. All ingredients comply with national lists of allowed and prohibited substances, and it's gotta have a certification, okay? So those are the standards that they want you to follow in order for it to be, I'm gonna do the air quote, 100% organic. The next one is just organic. So the organic seal, 95% certified organic ingredients. No GMOs, non-organic ingredients comply with the national list and then the certification. So you see, we're kind of getting a little less things that they're requiring you to have. Made with organic, does not have to have the seal. At least 70% of the ingredients have to be or certified organic. Once again, no GMOs. Non-organic ingredients comply with the national list and that certification. And then organic ingredients, no seal, no specific percentage of certified organic, no GMOs, no compliance with national list. No, sir. So you need nothing there. So you can kind of see, you know, they definitely have requirements. And depending on the label, they kind of fall off on what is required for them to be certified and have that term organic. So I'm going to ask you, ma'am, when you do, are you looking at any of the labels of the stuff or any of these labels that you see up here? Are they on the products that you purchase? Are you doing the 100%?
Well, I don't always do 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I try,
Okay.
you know, I mean, that organic ingredients, that's like our everyday food.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's no requirements. There's nothing required on that particular food group. Absolutely.
I'm more aware of it in fresh stuff. Not so much canned stuff, but I really pay attention to fresh
The produce.
and fruits, yeah.
Yeah, and so let's go to that. Especially this time of the year, where are we getting most of our produce? Out of Michigan. Here, Walmart, for some of us, Meijer. If we're lucky to have one close to us. I know there's a couple of us in here that have Meijers close to us.
Country view.
Yeah. Where do they get it from? Probably more likely, yeah. They're gonna get theirs from out of Michigan. So once again, there's organic. I don't know, do they have organic yet? There, I don't know. I've been there a couple times, so I don't.
They have organic bananas, yeah, there's organic bananas.
Okay.
Bananas.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of stuff that's.
Okay, yeah, I've been there probably a handful of times, but I didn't pay that close attention.
Where all the vegetables are, it's like on
Okay.
the right side are regular, and then on the left side are.
Some organic, okay.
Yeah, they're marked.
Okay. So once again, you know, where are they getting their produce from? Same thing. I mean, doesn't matter what grocery store you go to. This time of the year really is horrible for us here in Michigan because we have to get it from another location. Yeah. Even sometimes when our weather is good, we still have to get it from another location. It just kind of depends on what fruit it is that you're looking for. So I guess, you know, it's really just gonna depend on what you want to purchase. Do you really, you know, do you want to avoid a lot of that stuff that goes into it? I mean, does it bother you? I mean, it's really kind of a preference. I wish we could make it without having to have all those chemicals, you know, stuff into it. So it is frustrating. We certainly don't need all those chemicals in our bodies by any means. I think we all have enough stuff going on in our lives. We certainly don't need to add to anything. But you know, I guess it just kind of really depends on you know where you're at and what you really want to do for yourself. So we're gonna kind of go now into gluten. So this is another weird thing for some people. So gluten, so the ingestion of gluten may leave one feeling bloated, gassy, tired. Gluten intolerance can also be what we call irritable bowel syndrome. Like I said, not very polite to talk about what you're trying to eat. Another thing is called celiac disease. This is an autoimmune response to gluten. And what's happening is your body's really trying to fight against the gluten as if it were a virus. So it's basically telling you this is not good in your body, you need to get it out of here. And so it causes inflammation. and digestive distress, and that we'll use that. So what is gluten? It is actually a protein that's found in a lot of your grains. And so if people eat that type of food, they're gonna have those digestive issues. So people that have been diagnosed with that, the recommendation certainly is to go with a gluten-free diet. Anybody ever tried gluten-free foods?
Every day.
And
They're a lot better than they used to be.
okay,
Yes.
and I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are.
Very expensive.
They are. So we're back to that cost thing again, where we were with the organic. And like Gina said, they are tasting better than I'm sure they were when they first came out. And there's a wider variety than there was when they first came out. I have a very good friend of mine that I worked with for many, many years who does not have any of the GI issues, but uses it because of the inflammation that she has throughout her body.
Right.
So,
My sister's the same way.
so she just uses it for that, not necessarily for the GI issue. So it can be used for other things too. So these are just some of the things that typically people would use it for, certainly with celiac disease. If they have that gluten sensitivity, once again, they're still gonna have some of those GI issues. The gluten ataxia, once again, it's another autoimmune disorder. It affects the nerve tissues and causes problems with muscle control and voluntary muscle movement. And then some people might have a wheat allergy. So, you know, that kind of goes along a little bit with this. So when people are looking on the labels and stuff, they wanna make sure that they're looking for, you know, you'll see on the labels, might have have come across wheat, nuts, that type of thing, if in the processing. But this one here, the wheat allergy is a result of the immune system mistakenly gluten or some other protein found in wheat as a disease-causing agent like a virus or a bacteria. So once again, this could be irritating just as much as what the gluten is in somebody's diet. So that's why a lot of people like the gluten-free diet. It does reduce inflammation, once again, either in the GI or, like I said, for my friend, for her whole body. So that can be very helpful. Antioxidants is should be everybody's friend, we hope. These are molecules that can help your body fight off harmful free radicals, which is the free radicals can lead to tissue damage and degenerative diseases, which have been linked to health conditions like diabetes, heart disease, macular degeneration, Alzheimer's disease, and cancer. So they are found in many plant-based foods. They're rich in vitamin C, vitamin E, and carotenoids. So fruits are everybody's best friend, should be. Now, for individuals that have diabetes, they're your friend, but they also have to be monitored so that your blood sugars don't go through the roof. But they have definitely some positive effects on you. Next one. So fruits, veggies, whole grains, nuts, seeds, herbs, and spices. There's other benefits. They are high in fiber, low in saturated fat and cholesterol. They're certainly a good source of vitamins and minerals. So some other tidbits I learned a little bit about the antioxidants that I didn't know. So I learned some things too when I did some research on this. So drying, cooking, and freezing can affect the different levels of your antioxidants. Didn't know that, so it's kind of neat to find this out. So sometimes cooking them allows the antioxidant to be better absorbed. That's one of the things. So for instance, tomatoes, the lycopene is more absorbed once it's cooked. Didn't know that, okay? So for some people, having a cooked tomato is gonna have more antioxidants than an uncooked tomato. However, some raw foods have more antioxidants than being cooked. So now we're kind of the opposite direction, right? but they didn't give me a list of the type of foods that were raw, that, you know, were better than being cooked. They do also recommend that you pair the colors of antioxidant foods. So in this case, they were talking about pairing an orange and a yellow veggie together. So that's kind of something to think about. So some of the antioxidants on top of the veggies up there: tea, coffee, some fruit juices. Now it's the cocoa. I think a lot of people probably know that cocoa is a good antioxidant, but it does depend on the cocoa content. And I don't know if it's, what do they have now, 90 some percent, is there in the 90s or something, I think. And I don't have the percentage on that one, it's exactly which one it is.
Well, I tried a 95% chocolate bar nipple.
So why?
It wasn't sweet.
It wasn't sweet, was it really dry?
I didn't notice that, but it probably was.
Or
I mean, it just
they're
was
kind of really
Yeah,
bitter, yes, they're very bitter.
it wasn't my choice.
So even though they say dark chocolate is good for you, which I'm not saying it's not, but it is bitter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that dark chocolate would probably be one of those that fit within here, so. But yeah, so it was kind of interesting to learn about how you prepare certain foods and how it affects that antioxidant that comes out of it, so. Okay, now we're gonna go back into the GI, can't go into the probiotics. So we're gonna break down the probiotics. Foods or supplements that contain live microorganisms that are intended to maintain or improve your good bacteria. We do have good bacteria within our gut. It's called normal microflora. It's a bacteria that exists on or inside your body and possesses a unique ecological relationship with the host in the body. Okay, so some of the examples of probiotics: yogurt, sauerkraut, and kefir. Some people might not know what that is, so it's fermented milk or yogurt product. So some people, like I said, might know what it is, some people might not. Probiotics certainly are very helpful in preventing or treating diarrhea caused by infections and antibiotics. If you're ever on an antibiotic, you should be taking some type of probiotics. I'm not gonna say that we have any pharmacists in here by any means, but but I myself, if you're on it, and I don't know if they have standards of, if you're on it for a certain amount of days, you really should be taking it, or if you should just take it no matter what. I don't know that, but it does help, because you are trying to get rid of the bug in you, but it also kills the good stuff. So it's getting rid of the good and the bad at the same time. So you need to replace the good. It does improve symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. It certainly boosts your immune system, reduces inflammation and allergies. And so I did put some recommendations up here. So 20 to 50 billion CFUs. I do not know what the CFU stands for, but that is how you define the amount of probiotics for women. That's what the recommendation is, especially if they have a lot of UTIs and vaginal issues. So that is the recommendation. If we have any gentlemen, it's 10 to 20 billion CFUs, and that would be dependent on their health issues. They didn't have anything specific health for them. So those are the recommendations for an individual to have of the amount of probiotics daily. So the prebiotics are foods that are typically higher in fiber, and they act as food for the human microflora. So helpful bacteria in your gut, boost your immune system, maintain a healthy digestive system. They are not the same as probiotics. They are two totally different things. These are whole grains, bananas, greens, onions, garlic, soybeans. 3 to 5 grams per day is recommended. So they still have a bit of the same type of function, but they are two totally different entities, so to speak. The intestinal flora is the bacteria that normally resides within the intestine and digestive area. It aids in the evacuation of the waste from our food products after digestion. This is determined by your diet, so whatever you're eating is It's gonna be determined, with this. If anybody's ever had, H. pylori bacteria, where you've, had some, they call it gastritis, where you've had, a bacteria upset in your stomach. It can survive in the acid stomach of humans, so we naturally have it in there, but sometimes it gets a little kittywampus and gives us even more of a problem. And then others live in the intestine and colon. So I know it sounds gross, but we do have natural bacteria within us. We're all like, why? You don't want that stuff, but it is needed in there, so. And then cage free, well, we got our cute little chicken. We wanna talk about how expensive eggs are right now? No, none of us wanna talk about that right now. So cage free typically refers to how chickens live. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're not locked up in a cage where you've got 20 of them in a cage and they can't move. They're able to roam, they'll spread their wings, forage on insects and plants. They usually produce darker yolks with higher lutein and potentially more omega-3 fatty acids. The lutein carotenoid aids in healthy eyes, skin improves our LDL cholesterol and cognitive function. Certainly our omega-3 fatty acids is one of our healthy fats, so that supports our heart health. Helps lower our triglycerides if they are already elevated. Specific types of the omega-3s are the DHA, EPA, and ALA. And some of the specific foods include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, flaxseed, and chia seeds. So let them birds fly. I mean, they aren't gonna fly, but just let them get out and roam is what we would love to see. First, them being all caged in together. Let them get out and eat the bugs. They have to eat the bugs, and I think they'll eat stones too because they need those in order. I don't know very much about chickens, but I do know that they have to have gravel. So, like I said, we don't want to talk about the cost of eggs right now because they are very expensive. And I think, but they do produce a lot healthier egg than ones that are caged up. So that definitely is a positive for all of us. We do still have to be careful though with the amount of eggs that we're eating if we have high cholesterol. Does anybody know where the cholesterol is in the egg? Thank you. In the yolk, that is correct. The amount of yolk that the amount of cholesterol we need in a day is about the amount in one egg yolk. Around 312 or so grams of cholesterol in one yolk. Plus, we also make cholesterol in our body. We make it in our liver. So if we're already making it, and then we turn around and we eat it, and if we have high, and we have, let's say our family has genetic issues with cholesterol, that's when we have a lot of high cholesterol issues. So that's when your doctor say, hey, you need to go, we need to put you on a cholesterol medication or 2 or 3 or whatever. Or we need to have you go talk to, dietitian and, see what we can do about, getting you some help on getting your cholesterol levels down. So that's the only bad thing about the eggs. There's protein in both the yolk and the white. Is anybody up to eating just egg whites?
I did for a while.
Okay.
Where they're cooked.
Yes. Yeah.
Then I'll do that.
Yeah, I won't eat them, yeah. So the egg whites, once again, is a good protein source. So is the yolk. They just have no flavor. So because of the cholesterol in the egg yolk, that's where all the flavor. That's where the salt comes in. For Mrs. Dash's, onions, garlic, any of the herbs, any other types of spices, just, if you have high blood pressure, certainly I'm not gonna recommend too much salt, but yeah, I mean, cage free is pretty much the way to go. You can see that that's gonna produce a healthier egg for you versus one that's not. It's caged. Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't know if you were gonna go into this, okay, I didn't want to interrupt. So the organic, when it comes to the chickens, they have all of those, they're able to act on those natural behaviors. But the difference is they have to start eating their organic food from day one, so they consume that, and then they are not given antibiotics. And keep in mind that within those withdrawal times, just like pesticides with plants, withdrawal times do last into meat. So your beef, your pork, your chicken, all those things that say antibiotics free, there's withdrawal times. So I just wanted to share that, because I do have some knowledge with organic farming and stuff.
Awesome. Do you have an idea of the time frame, or is it kind of different, or does it depend on the
I would assume that it depends on the medication, when it comes to how long the withdrawal time is before harvest of that animal.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so it's not until.
Well, like she's Dr. Cole,
Yes.
one antibiotic shot. You're done. It's not, it can't go back to organic.
That's, yeah,
So there's
inorganic
no
certification.
withdrawal time on that, according to him.
Inorganic certification, that is correct. When you're raising meat organically, you can't give them those medications without lapsing that organic certification as well as the meat.
So he says, once we get the shot, it never can be organic. Are you agreeing with that?
I am
It sounds like you're not.
unaware that is a correct statement, but
Oh, okay.
I guess it would depend.
No, what's
I
TV,
don't wanna
you know?
answer for sure. but-
Yeah, it's on TV. Dr. Cole said it's true.
But it wasn't internet.
Dr. Cole said
It
it's
was TV.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, because she's saying that there is a lapse time, that
Yeah.
if somebody were to get it, and then there's a time frame, let's say it's 14 days. And then it's out of their system and they're good to go. So I don't know, neither one of us have that answer to that question to know for sure, but that would be
I got a
interesting.
little funny about your cage-free thing. During COVID, didn't go a lot of places except drive on the side roads. And we started to make a joke about cattle. Oh, there's cage-free cattle. I mean, you hardly ever would see cattle out in a field.
Yeah.
And during COVID, we noticed a few. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we started saying, oh, there's cage-free cattle.
As long as you didn't hit any cage-free deer while you were running.
I like to say like you're free range.
Yeah.
I had one in my backyard this morning, and I live block off 46 and 2 blocks off 19. Was running around my backyard.
For a deer.
Deer.
Deer?
Any more questions at this time before I hit you? Okay. Anybody online?